It's rare that we get a TV show that is almost universally agreed to be great. We just got the series finale for The Penguin, and people loved it. I thought the show was amazing. Honestly, it exceeded every expectation I had for it. And to be honest, I don't even know what my expectations were going into it. I really liked the Batman. I thought the Batman was great, and I was so excited to see a show centered around the Penguin. I just couldn't imagine what that would look like. But this was far better than I would imagine most people were expecting. Not only are people saying that this is one of the best, if not the best, comic book TV series, people are talking about this being one of the best TV series in a long time. Just look at the ratings. There isn't an episode that goes below an 8.5 on IMDb. And the finale is sitting at a 9.7, making it one of the highest rated TV episodes ever. And it's pretty interesting because this was airing alongside Agatha All Along, which admittedly I didn't watch. I just really was not interested in it. To be honest, a lot of the Marvel Disney Plus shows just haven't piqued my interest at all. Admittedly, I'm very far behind on what is going on in the MCU. For some reason, I've pretty much just lost interest in it. I really can't explain it. You see the phrase superhero fatigue a lot, and that's clearly not it. Because it's stuff like this that prove that people just want really good stories. In my honest opinion, I don't think I've seen something from Disney that is quite as good as The Penguin. And don't get me wrong, I really liked Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I thought that was probably the last really good thing that I've seen from the MCU or from Marvel in general, but even that isn't without its flaws. With The Penguin, you'd be really hard pressed to find actual flaws with the show. And I'm sure there are people that do have negative opinions about it. The only real concrete complaint that I could see would just be the parallels between The Sopranos and The Penguin. But to me, I feel like that's treated more like an homage rather than just straight up yoinking it. I think that one of the things that The Penguin has going for it is it stands on its own as a perfect standalone. You do not have to watch this going into the Batman Part 2, but it's really going to just add to the universe. And that's all it really should do. It does bridge that gap between Part 1 and Part 2, but it isn't required viewing. But honestly, if you go into Batman Part 2 without having seen The Penguin, you're missing out on a ton of world building. Gotham in this show felt like its own character. And I know that's something that people say a lot, but it's true. Gotham feels gross and dark and gritty and all those other buzzwords that people throw around. It's true. Gotham in this show sucks. Just like the people. It's really cool to see this through the lens of somebody that isn't the Batman. Somehow they created this show and kept that film-like quality to it. You never really felt a dip in the quality at all. They didn't sacrifice anything when it came to the budget. I'm really curious what the budget for this was, but it really feels like it had a really film-like quality to it. The cinematography was great. The sound design was great. The characters, everything about this just fit so well together. And all of that is topped off with excellent writing. I've talked about this so much, but the writing in the show is just brilliant. It's so smart. Recently, a show that we got from Disney was The Acolyte for Star Wars. And in this show, there are many character decisions that don't really make sense, or there are things that happen in the show because it feels like they needed them to happen, and that's it. But in The Penguin, it's the characters' decisions and choices that really drive the plot forward. Every character is so well written with their personalities and their flaws, and everything that they do feels genuine to what they would do or what somebody in that position would do. And what I love is that our three main POV characters have their character arcs, and they're all very similar to one another, but unique to each person. You have Vic, who is seemingly a lost younger person who's just trying to find where they fit in this world. And when Oz takes him in as to be, his little right-hand man, you see Vic kind of becoming more like the Penguin, and you see him start to make more plays, become smarter, become more vicious, and ultimately go down this path that doesn't end well for him. And you see something similar with Sophia, who really, she wants to become a different person. She wants to prove that she isn't her father. She wants to prove that she's her own person, even leading to her changing her own name. But ultimately, she goes down the same path and finds herself back to where she started in Arkham. She became the very thing that she was proving that she wasn't. And Oz proves to everybody that he is a villain. He proves that he is a deplorable son of a this guy sucks. And in the beginning, he starts to manipulate and starts to make the viewer look at him as somebody that, while deeply flawed, has, you know, some redeemable qualities, like how he cares for his mother, how he cares for Vic, how he's trying to bring up the lower class and trying to take the power, but he's doing it selfishly. And by the end of the series, he proves that all of this was a manipulative ploy to just get what he wants. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what your relationship is to him. He will sacrifice you to get exactly what he wants. Oz starts off as this person that doesn't have any sort of respect, really any power, and you don't see him being somebody that can go toe-to-toe with the Batman. But by the end, this dude, he could definitely give Batman a run for his money, and not in a physical way. He's not a person to fight him. I don't think he ever really was. But the way he's able to control people, the way he's able to manipulate people, and the way that they hint that he is going to pursue becoming a mayor, these are all things that Batman is going to have a hard time dealing with. Sure, he can go in and just punch him and, you know, that's that. But that isn't really how you're going to deal with the Penguin. The Penguin now has control over the whole criminal underground. Organized crime is now going to run through him. And if he does end up becoming the mayor, the corruption in Gotham is just going to grow and become even harder for Batman to take down. And I can see how they're planting seeds for the Bruce Wayne persona of the Batman. One of the biggest complaints about the Batman was the lack of Bruce Wayne, how that personality really wasn't there with Robert Pattinson. But it was never supposed to be. This was supposed to be about the Batman. And there's a whole bunch of videos breaking that down. But you can see how the seeds are being planted for Bruce to really create that billionaire, playboy, philanthropist, you know, persona, and really flesh out that side of the character, which I am very excited for. I feel like one of the strongest things about the show, The Penguin, is how it subverts expectation. You really never know what's going to happen. Another testament to the great writing, it feels like they do a masterful job at putting Oz in a position he cannot get out of. But he does. He figures it out. He's always a step ahead. He's over here playing chess. I just love how they'll set something up and make you feel like you know where this is going. But then it just takes a left turn. And it doesn't feel like it was done intentionally to subvert your expectation. It feels earned. It feels genuine. Never do I feel like the show is really pandering to fans or disrespecting fans. Clearly, the people behind this show, Lauren LaFranc, Matt Reeves, whoever else, they really care about these characters. They care about this universe. They care about this world. And they care about the fans. If you listen to the Inside the Episodes or the Penguin podcast, you really do get a sense that they put so much thought into these characters and their feelings and their goals, their aspirations, what they want, and their flaws. What is the thing that's holding them back? What is the thing that they're not able to do? It's really obvious when they're talking about the character of Frances how much they care, because they put so much time and effort into getting this character right, down to her illness, how she talks to Oz, how she talks to her other children when they were alive. You can tell that everything felt genuine. Nothing felt disingenuous or phony. Everything was handled with so much care. And look at Vic. Even the fact that they created this character with a stutter, and it doesn't play a huge pivotal role in the plot, but it makes his character unique. It's who he is. You can just really tell that these people know what they're doing, and It just blows my mind, because you would think that Marvel or Disney would be doing everything they can to get their hands on these really good writers and creators to create something for their universe. But it feels like most of the time they're just phoning it in. They're just throwing some money at a project and hoping that it works. You don't feel the same amount of love for these shows that you do for the Penguin. This just hyped up the Batman Part 2 so much. I am so excited to see where they go with this. And I'm really excited to see, how the Batman handles the Penguin and how the Penguin grows to be even more corrupt, deplorable, and just straight up villainous. There was a couple things teased in the end of the Penguin, like the letter to Sophia from Selina. And I just love the idea of that duo. I wish my boy Vic was still alive, because man, that character was so good, and there was so much potential to take him so far. But I don't know. Let me know what you thought, because in my opinion, this is just superb. It's great. I can't wait to watch it again, honestly. I think that a back-to-back viewing of the Batman with the Penguin is just going to go insanely hard. And to be honest, DC needs to start thinking of what they're going to do next. How are you going to top this? Obviously, if the Batman Part 2 is as great as everybody is hoping it's going to be, what's next after that? Should they get Lauren LaFranc to create a new spinoff? Or should they get somebody else to create a spinoff? Or, what are they going to do with this? Because I feel like this is just simply too good to leave on its own. It sort of feels like we have a Mandalorian season 1 type of deal here, but at the same time, look at the Mandalorian and how overdone it became. Like, I hope they don't do that with the Penguin. Honestly, if they just leave it with the Penguin, that'll be 100% fine in my book, but I'm selfish and I just want more. I just want the whole Rogues Gallery. Give me Scarecrow, give me Mr. Freeze, give me another Riddler series. I don't care. Give me Professor Pig, everything. I want it all. I want an entire Matt Reeves universe, and I wanted to just build this super intricate sort of, cinematic universe or whatever. I don't know. That's just me, but that's it for now. So I'll see you guys. See ya.